My name is Frank Earl Fleming. I am a talent extraordinaire.
Yes! Yes!
Oh, and there we go!
It's a jingle! The Mets are the heart of New York. It beats in us.
There is no fucking heart! There is absolutely no fucking heart in this goddamn motherfucking team!
What is your favorite sport to watch?
Baseball usually, except the Mets give me agita. And today we're going to be doing the Mango Tango. Do the Mango Tango. Do the...
What's up, Frank?
All right, it's a new episode of Allow Me to Be Frank. I just got back off the road. I was in Tampa. I was in Phoenix. And now I'm back home. And, well, it's another week.
Frank, how about them Knicks?
I honestly cannot believe it. I honestly cannot believe it. I saw how they played against the Pistons, and I thought that they were just going to get just absolutely lambasted. But they were getting lambasted in both games. Down 23 in game one, down 20 in game two. But the Celtics, they got to shoot those threes. They cannot help themselves. I mean, there's an entire area that's not a three-pointer that fundamental basketball used to be all about, but the Celtics know they got to get that dagger three to make a statement. And well, brick by brick by brick, they've lost and had to suck the Knicks' dick.
So, Mikey, I'm sorry, we'll follow the agenda, but I have to just bring one thing.
Oh, we can talk about it.
So Jerry O'Connell, Bing Bong, shout out to him, who you met at the Bet Gala, which we'll talk about. What was I gonna say? Never mind. Forget about it.
Most annoying live streamer I've ever witnessed in my life. Shout out Jerry O'Connell. Dude, if I was a Celtics fan, I would fucking choke him out.
I think it looked like he was actually writing on Hank's back.
I don't know how Hank didn't punch him in the fucking face. I like Jerry JOC. He's awesome. I hope he comes on a walk with Frank. He's the best.
Oh, sorry, I remember what I was going to say. I totally blacked out. On PMT, what he was doing was comparing this Knicks team, and I thought it was a little premature after game one, but now after game two, I want to hear what Frank thinks, to the 1986 Mets. He said they have that something where Boston's kind of scared of them. They're in their head, and they can go on a magical run here. Said it's the same kind of vibe.
I don't know about that.
I don't think they're like anything like the 86 Mets. They're close to last year's Mets.
Yeah, it reminds me of last year's Mets against the Phillies, how the Phillies were good, but they were scared of the Knicks. And this is how it feels with this team. I do have to say, though, you guys had your doubts this series. I think I was the only lunatic 100%. Saying Knicks.
Now, did you actually pick the Knicks to win the series, Mikey?
I have Knicks Timberwolves going to the finals.
Wow.
It's 25 to win 1,500.
Let's go.
Yeah. So fingers crossed.
That would be quite.
Sorry, we can go by the agenda now, Mikey.
All right. So yeah, we'll get to Knicks because we have a lot to talk about for NBA playoffs. Playoffs are so fun. But let's start with the week. Frank, I'll let you take it away. We started with going to Tampa this week. We had a pretty good time. Almost everything went right. A couple mishaps, but we're still rolling. You want to talk about Jelly Roll, Kurt, Tom Segura, and Bert?
Oh, yeah. Well, the 5K was great. It was at Buccaneers Stadium.
Yep.
I believe that video is going to be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah. It'll be ready. So I believe – so we'll be dropping Frank Walks tomorrow. It's not your average Frank Walks. It's going to be Frank doing the 5K. So you're going to see Frank walking the 5K. I cut it down so it's not all messed up. He's got maybe 5 minutes with Jelly Roll, a couple minutes with Bert, and a few minutes with Tom. But it's good. It's a good time. So you guys get to see the inside of the 5K. It's very fun. And Frank finished it, so it was very good.
Also, shout out to Mikey Betts for filming that with nobody there to help him in the midst of a 5K, making sure audio and all that stuff was working.
And the tough part was we actually walked around Raymond James Stadium.
That was the tough part. Yep. Very tough. Very tough.
And
I think I was still kind of giving you credit, Mikey.
At one point, we had to go up the ramps. And I know it was tough walking up the ramps for me.
In 2023, Frank, you couldn't do a ramp.
2024, he couldn't do a ramp like that.
Yeah.
2024, so small. That's the little things with Frank. Frank had to go up these stairs. It was a huge flight of stairs. Frank did it. Last year, I think Frank would have stopped halfway, took a little breather, and then went back up. He did it twice. It's kind of insane. And Frank, you said last year at this time, there's no way you could have went up those stairs.
Yep.
Yeah. So little wins, very good accomplishments. Jelly Roll, super nice guy. Shout out to his producer who was kind of helping me when I was recording him and Jelly Roll. Yeah.
How are Tom and Bert, Frank?
That was good. It was an interesting day. It was an interesting day. It was hot, but not you want to die hot yet.
Yeah. We got pretty lucky with the weather this week. We got met Jason Kelsey.
Yep.
So we're going to try to get that booked. So it sounds like we have a great walk tomorrow. Again, Mikey, great job, not just filming it, but then getting home, turning it around, doing the edit, all that stuff. So hopefully everybody loves that, which leads to the bet gala. And Frank, I've seen you do so many crazy fucking things. I can't the craziest stuff I can't even put on the internet. We'll put it that way. But my favorite thing from the trip last week was watching you actually look like the Penguin with one of your tuxedo pant legs rolled up like a gangster, screaming like you were going to murder somebody about a grand slam that literally didn't happen.
Right.
Around civilians that didn't know you. So what was going on there, buddy?
Well, the Mets had a 5-1 lead going to the 8th inning. Basically, there wasn't too many people left at the gala. So, and they had TVs on all over the place, all the sports. Hockey had finished. There was the Thunder against the Nuggets over here. We had a A's Mariners game here, and we had the Mets over here. This is all part of a bet, parlay that you could enter. That free bet. So the Mets are going good. It's 5-1, and then they bring in Daniel Nunez, who proceeds to walk all 3 batters he faced on 14 pitches.
Okay.
So they bring a reliever in, and I'm watching ball after ball, and they're non-competitive pitches. Like one was like a foot over the head, one actually bounced, went 2 feet and bounced and rolled all the way to the mound. One, if there was 5 plates, he would have missed it. The only strikes he had were swings and misses.
The Mets won this game, right? Frank. The Mets won this game, right?
Yeah, he actually was warming up beforehand and playing catch the catcher, and every ball was like over the head.
Here, Frank, let me just save you the rants. 1 second.
They've now won a grand slam. They've now won a 7-1 lead, a 5-1 lead.
So pause it, Mikey. So Frank, right now you're yelling about a grand slam. Let me just repeat, that didn't happen. Correct?
Well, Josh Naylor would know it was a grand slam too.
Okay.
They will not win another game in May.
You're insane, Frank.
So anyway, they bring in a reliever. He gets 1 out. He gives up a hit. Bases still loaded. And it's now 5-2. And the ball is hit to straightaway center field. It was going high. It was going far. And it hit at the top of the wall. I didn't have my glasses. I left them at the hotel. And, well, I thought it went over the wall. And what it is in Arizona you have a yellow line and a 25-foot wall. The ball hit like 23 feet up the wall, and Josh Naylor, who was on first, thought it was so much of a grand slam he didn't get past second. And the Mets were able to get out of the inning. And in the next inning, Diaz didn't cover first. He didn't cover first. And then the guy tried to steal second. Looked like he was safe, but Lindor slapped a tag, and Alvarez, 1.8 seconds, which is like incredibly fast to get the ball from behind home plate to second base. It's like you can't really do much better than that.
Mikey, is Frank kind of like cutting his face off a little on your screen?
Yeah, right. Why don't you adjust it a little bit?
You're the star, baby. You got to be front and center. And
Actually,
then it looked like yesterday I saw Beatty do well. I saw McNeil hit a triple. I saw Juan Soto hit 2 home runs. I mean, that must have made you feel
It's
great.
about goddamn time for Soto.
Fuck Soto. He couldn't hit the home run when I bet on him that game, and then he hits 2 more the next day, Frank. That's on you. That's on you. And also, can we take back the blaming me for the downfall of the Mets when it was only 1 game?
Well, that song should never play.
Yeah, Mikey,
Not
you
do
can't.
that.
Mikey pulled up to a Mets game with Frank and put on "Free Falling" by Tom
I
Petty.
did it.
which
I
is
did
akin
it.
to just spitting in Frank's face.
It was on recommended songs for Yacht Rock and 80s Frank
You
playlist.
turn it off the second it comes on. Like that's a code red situation, buddy.
That's
You have
the
stopped.
song that needs to be
Give it,
automatically
take-
deleted and skipped.
deleted and skipped. Understood.
Every time I hear that song,
I'm
I
gonna-
see every loss in 2007 again. And
It's not a joke. He
Walker
actually gets
Rafford with
angry.
the Met falling like this.
Yeah, he's insane. Frank, you're nuts.
And Joe Buck and Tim McCarty going like this to it.
Yeah, he's getting upset now.
And
just
Buzz
thinking
Roddy
about it.
going, see ya! Buzz Roddy going ding, 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 free hug, and dancing to it.
All right, should we do standing boards updates?
Please.
Sure. See what Sandswood update. Fans love it. We're going to incorporate it into Allow Me to Be Frank. So let's go. We got. We'll start off with the American League, where the Yankees have a 2.5 game lead over the Red Sox. We got Tampa hanging in there in third, although it's mainly because the Blue Jays are struggling. With 4 straight losses. And what the fuck, Baltimore? You were on the verge. You had this young core. And you can't pitch. You can't get me out. What the fuck, Baltimore? Best team in the American League so far is the Detroit Tigers. While the Cleveland Guardians are playing great baseball, only a game and a half back.
Right? Did you see they might bring back the Indians, the old mascot, or
Oh,
did I get duped?
You probably got duped.
Okay.
Progressive Insurance won't allow it. Well, they own the naming rights to that stadium. We got the Royals in third. And by the way, Royals have won 5 in a row. These 3 teams right now are all like in playoff position, which is too early to talk about. Twins are even playing better now with 4 straight wins, getting close to 500. While the White Sox, go, White Sox. It's the White Sox are going to win. Boink. Oh, no. Did you see that play?
He dropped the pop-up to win it.
There was a ball that was popped up on the infield.
They called like an
Second out in the 9th inning, and it hit off the guy's head.
Oh, Frank, you got someone from Spain.
Hey.
Hola.
In the American League West, remember I told you before beginning of the season, watch out for the Mariners. Well, the Mariners are doing very good. But look at this. The Don't Call Me Oakland or Sacramento. We might be in Vegas soon. We're playing in Sacramento. We have no home. Ain't got a home. But they're in second place. The Astros are in third. The Rangers in fourth. And the Angels, well, they're down there in the Netherlands. Okay, now we go on to the National League, where the Mets, despite playing like shit the last week, are in first. The Phillies, though, they're starting to heat up. 8 of the last 10 are in second. The Braves are starting to heat up.
Shout out Soto, 2 home runs. Shout out Pete Alonso's been playing incredible. Senga, 6 scoreless innings. Frank, you're a lunatic. Go on.
Well, they're playing well, but I think they could be better. We got the Marlins. Well, they quit. They tapped out. Cubs playing great so far, though they just lost. They're actually playing the Mets this weekend. We got the Brewers in second. What is it, the Brewers? What type of magic do they run? Although they're only 500, I guess. But they don't completely fall apart. The Cardinals and Reds, all 19. All 3 teams are 19-19. Well, what do you do with a shitty ball club? What do you do with a shitty ball club? What do you do with a shitty ball club? Name them Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens must feel like he's in prison, and he's counting down the days until he's a free agent.
Frank, would you trade a player for Paul Skeens?
Yeah.
Who would you trade?
God, who would I trade? Vientos. I trade Nimmo. I trade. I think the only 3 who will basically be untouchable will be Alonso, Lindor, and Soto. But the Pirates don't want to pay anybody money, so they have to. So the Mets would have to probably send them older prospects, which I would do.
Okay.
All right, the Dodgers are finally in first. You knew that was going to happen eventually.
Knew that.
The Padres are in second. The Giants are in third. All 3 teams are very good, though, off to very good starts. And all 3 teams have similar or better records than the Mets. The Diamondbacks are in fourth, and they're having a good year. But
Frank, who has a better record than the Mets? The Dodgers?
Dodgers, Padres.
1 game.
2
Dodgers,
teams?
Padres, and Tigers.
3 teams. Okay.
And there's 1 team in the National League West. They have no hope. It's a good thing that they have drugs out there and for people to get mile high, because they may be coming for the White Sox record.
Yeah, they're all.
The Colorado Rockies aren't just bad. They're 6-29. And so far this year, they have a minus 91 run differential. Minus 91 run differential. They're the only team in MLB that has allowed 200. They've allowed 203 runs, which is among the worst. And which even more amazing is they have scored only 112 runs so far. They are not competitive, and the fans are so checked out that
What's the
nobody.
ownership situation there, Frank? Do they have a serious owner, or are they just like?
They do not have a serious owner. They made a bad trade. They made a bad trade about 6 years ago now. They traded Nolan Arenado to the Cardinals. And Nolan Arenado, who's pretty much washed up, you know, they got nothing for him. Nothing. They got nothing. So they've been bad, and they've been one of their top players retired last year, played his entire career at the Rockies, Charlie Blackmon, and they have like no prospects. And the ownership came out with this statement: there's nothing better than a summer night at Coors Field, watching the sunset and watching baseball. It doesn't matter if you go home with a win or a loss. If that doesn't sum up what the fucking issue is.
I mean, we need to. Can somebody in the chat fact check that? That's one of those Frankisms where.
No, that is bad. I got to look up what you
Frank. You can go either way.
Here's another thing they did. They also signed Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant, who was a Cub hero, won
MVP,
won the Rookie of the Year. Was like the face of the franchise that took him to the World Series.
Yep.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! They celebrated the entire offseason. Came the next year, had a World Series hangover. Didn't play bad, though. Made the NLCS.
Yeah, they made the NLCS 3 years in a row.
But Chris Bryant got his laurels, got his excitement, and his whole career went, wee!
Love to do a walk with him.
Like, it is incredible. And now he's had a lot of injuries. He's probably going to have to retire.
He would probably love to do a walk with Frank. We met him before.
He's probably had a lot of injuries and a lot of problems. But the shocking thing is how this guy looked like he was going to be one of the top stars in baseball for 10 years. And it just happens sometimes. But he's been a disaster in Colorado. And the Rockies are horrendous.
Now, Frank, are you going to do the playoff bracket board, or you're just sticking with? Is that it?
I'm just going to stick with this.
All right. So just to be clear for everyone, this is for people that don't have access to the internet but are watching this on the internet. We want you to be able to get what the current standings are.
Well, it's tank style.
Right. Tank style standings. Understood. All right. So we recap Tampa a little bit. Frank, do you have anything on Tampa that you want to talk about still?
Nope.
All right. Let's talk about Phoenix. We went to Scottsdale. Scottsdale, best place in the world. Went to the Bet Gala. How'd you like the Bet Gala? You enjoyed it?
Yeah, that was good.
Did anybody get a little carried away, drink too much? Anybody?
I don't want to.
Better boy, Frank. Don't narc on anyone. Why are you trying to set him up like that, Mikey?
Dave already said Megan making money was a little trash.
Frank Dave?
No, I was just saying. But shout out Megan. I don't remember who else he said. Anything out of the usual happened at the Bet Gala?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, the Knicks had their great win. Jerry O'Connell was driving Dave and Hank crazy.
That's about it.
And, of course, I thought that was a grand slam.
All right. What else did we do in Phoenix that you or Scottsdale that you liked? We went on a few hot dog reviews. One was
well, you went on your first hike, no?
Oh yeah, we hiked a mountain.
That was awesome. What was that like?
That was nice. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't. It was.
Are you reading something, Frank? Yeah,
I found what I was looking for.
We're in the middle of a conversation.
We're on a podcast, dude.
I mean,
go ahead, read. No, take your time. Everybody that's watching, give Frank 1 second.
Young Frank, just do whatever the fuck you want over there, buddy.
And basically, there's like the fans are getting ready to boycott because of what this owner said.
What did
he say? Are we back on the Rockies?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's basically it's a good place to spend a summer evening. That just being
Can
out.
you read a direct quote? Is there a direct quote? You're looking up into the clouds while you're just saying shit. You just said, "Oh, I found it," and then you start like looking up while you're talking.
Basically, they don't go to watch winning baseball. They go there to spend an evening. It's more like a picnic in the park than watching a baseball game.
Okay. So Frank modification, but not crazy. Just Frank.
It's not far off, though. He basically didn't say it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's that is basically what I said.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Compared to other shit, that was pretty much verbatim.
And he's whining that the league is too hard to compete.
So how was the Jim McMahon walk? Shout out Mikey Butts for setting that up. Pretty epic guy to get.
Shout out Jim McMahon, dude. He's the best. Frank, thoughts?
Yeah, he was good. He was very. I think that's gonna be a very good walk. You know, I think about these football players who really have their bodies broken. And McMahon, he didn't play. He wasn't one of these quarterbacks that was like protected. He was heads down, diving, getting roughed up. That cheap shot from Charles Martin. And why am I watching the pitchers move back and forth like this?
Somebody was crying, why are the names off? And at the top, he wanted it more like that. So I did that for Timestamp Guy. Shout out Timestamp Guy.
So yeah, that's basically it. He was beat around, he was beat up, and you could tell he's hurting a little bit, but he was sharp, he was nice, and he was able to do that walk. You know,
So
very
we got about
effective.
six walks in the like banked right now.
But
Mikey's been doing a great job booking. I've been booking. We're rolling. And
I think about the
never
rules they have
satisfied.
protecting quarterbacks these days, and those rules didn't exist for him. And I mean, there's not. I don't think there's a former quarterback that took more abuse and more pounding than Jim McMahon in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. It was a tough. I mean, that era was fucking crazy. And then the cheap shot that he got against the Packers ruined his career. I mean, not ruined his career. He still played, but
he wasn't the same.
Yeah, it never was the same.
Not the same. And I still say this. That guy got a 2-game suspension in 1986 when you didn't get suspended.
Yeah.
I remember hearing someone say that McMahon ended up missing the rest of the season because of that.
If that happened in this era, the guy would be gone for the year.
He'd be gone for the year and have to like plead his case to get back in the NFL.
Yes. Yeah.
And few people know, later in his career, Frank taught me, he won a second ring on the Packers as Brett Favre's backup.
Everybody knows that.
I didn't.
Well, actually, everybody in Chicago. Let me say that.
That was actually his final game.
Did he get any snaps
that year?
He didn't want any snaps. I say that we save it for the reason why. For the Frank walks. It was a very good reason.
Teaser.
Yeah, teaser. Very good reason why he didn't go in. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, for me, I fanboy a little bit. I've known Jim McMahon for a while, maybe 3-4 years now. Great guy, but I still get giddy anytime I see like a former Bears legend or something. Try not to smile the whole time. I was ear to ear recording the whole thing, laughing. You could probably hear me laughing in the Frank walk. So it was a good walk. And I
know that look. It's the look Mikey had when we interviewed with Dave on Zoom, like Step Brothers. Sorry, never mind. Go ahead, Frank.
I will say this about the 85 Bears. They really are
the 86 Mets.
The 86 Mets on the football field.
Yep.
They really are.
They really are. I agree. And they should have won more. They didn't. They had a decent manager that probably could have been replaced. And I'll say that about Ditka. I don't care.
The Mets had a manager in Davey Johnson who was a decent manager.
Right.
But he was good at letting the players be the players. But sometimes when the game got tight, he wasn't exactly the best at making game time decisions.
I mean, you could say the same about Joe Madden with the Cubs. He took them to all those NCLSs, and we only got one ring out of it. I could say, yeah, Ditka should have won 3. People like Buddy Ryan more in Chicago than Ditka, but Ditka's the face. Ditka. My biggest gripe with Ditka is
Buddy Ryan showed what he was about. Let me tell you something about Buddy Ryan.
Yeah.
Buddy Ryan had a good defensive schemes, built a great defense in Philadelphia, but he never won a playoff game. He was a lot of bluster, like his son.
Yeah. And Ditka, the biggest gripe I have with Ditka is he told all of his players, I don't want you in no commercials.
Yep.
God forbid, I better not see you one commercial. Then you flip on the TV and you see Ditka in a Campbell soup commercial. Is the biggest hypocrite of all time. So there's so many reasons I don't like. I like Ditka. I don't like
And McMahon and Dick was pissed that McMahon did a commercial.
Yeah, he was livid at him.
Yeah, and he did,
not like
it was a funny commercial too. If I could find a video, I'll send it to Mikey.
Yeah, please. Ditka and Buddy Ryan were one of George Halas's final hires, correct?
Yes.
Shout out Poolside Pat.
Yeah.
Well, do you know Ditka, after he left the Bears, he bounced around the NFL a little bit, but he retired with the Cowboys and played against the Dolphins in Super Bowl VI. Actually caught a touchdown pass in Super Bowl VI.
Yep.
And he was a coach on the Cowboys. So he was kind of he was tutored by Halas and Tom Landry.
Yeah, which is amazing. Two of the best coaches ever.
So we're going to look at our whole sheet. We've got a bunch of great walks coming out. Jim McMahon won't be this week. Again, it'll be
Joey
Joey
Shea is
tomorrow.
100% right about that.
Yes.
That is
right.
That is the single most egregious thing Mike Ditka did in his career.
He apologizes for it still.
I think he now realizes how bad it was. But Walter Payton fumbled early in Super Bowl 20. And the Patriots only got a field goal, but the Bears ended up scoring the next 44 points.
Yeah.
And late in the game, he would not give the ball to Payton to score a Super Bowl touchdown. Instead, he gave the ball to Refrigerator Perry to score a touchdown. To almost like rub the Patriots' face in it. And a lot of players on the Bears were not happy, especially like the people who were Walter Payton. Like Walter Payton was there at that point for 10 years.
Yep.
And felt that Walter Payton, who was at the time also the number one all-time leading rusher in the NFL, should have been given his touchdown and he didn't get it. And
then Fridge was in WrestleMania 3, wasn't he?
Two.
Which
is only a couple of months after Super Bowl 20.
Have you seen what he's up to now? He's down tremendous. He's like,
I would love a walk with him.
I don't think he can walk anymore, Frank.
Oh, fuck.
He's not down weight. Yeah, I think it sounded like he's down.
He's like down bad. Like
I thought you meant he was down, like weight wise.
No, down in the dumps. Yeah.
So Frank, can you give us an eloquent recap of the Mets' tremendous win yesterday, led by the Juan Soto with 2 home runs?
Mets got off to a shaky start. Once again, failed runners in scoring position. Juan Soto struck out, left runners stranded at first and third. Senga walked 5 of the first 10 batters and got bailed out by a great relay from Lindor, throwing out the runner at home, and the game remained scoreless. Eventually, Juan Soto finally hit a home run, and the Mets broke the game open late.
Senga ended up pitching 6 scoreless.
Yep.
Beatty had a big hit. McNeil had a triple. Soto ended up with 2 home runs.
Yep.
Lindor made a great play in the field, but I don't know why that's a negative.
He had to relay. The relay home.
Yeah, it was perfect. He put it in the perfect spot.
I mean, that relay doesn't happen. I think
the Mets season, is it over? Is it still over, or is it not over?
They got to start playing a little bit better. They got to go back to what they were playing in April.
Okay, so it still might be over. Is Juan Soto still a mega bust?
Well, he's finally starting to wake up.
So is he just a bust, not a mega bust?
Ask again next week.
So Frank has this thing where he's insane and is insane and has zero patience at all. Zero patience. Frank has zero patience he wants Soto to be good now, right now. It's not going to happen like that. Wait, Frank. It's called patience. I
have no patience.
Oh, I know. When we were checking in the hotel, I could tell you had zero patience.
I heard you almost died, Mikey. You brought him to the wrong place, and you're playing free falling. I mean, were you trying to kill yourself on this trip?
Oh, apparently we were booked at that hotel. We got double booked, Mikey.
We got double booked?
You got the switcheroo?
How did we get double booked?
The right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing.
I actually just reset things, so I think all of the stuff going forward will go through me, so that this kind of stuff never happens again.
Who booked?
Because
Lisa-
sometimes the three of us are getting separate emails.
Like
and then
live event Lisa asked me why didn't I check into the Hyatt. I said I was booked at the Scott.
Yeah.
Frank's like, I was at
And
the Super 8. What are you talking about?
And I said, yeah, I got a booking from the Scott. And I guess
They double booked us.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, I like the Scott. The Scott was a nice, beautiful hotel. That's
a
crazy.
shame. There was an empty hotel room for me.
I mean, that the fact that you're talking to one team about booking, that no, one team's doing the booking for this. One
All
team's
right,
doing
yeah. Well, we don't need to get into all that. But I think we have a better system now. It's going to run through me.
That's crazy. I didn't know they double booked us. Wow. Anyways, yeah, Frank during check-in almost took a lady's life. We got there at 1 o'clock. Check-in's not till 4. Understandable. Actually, we got there at 11 o'clock. Check-in's not till 4. We asked for early. First, Frank was mad at me because he thought I got a room and he didn't. So he's like, and you always jump in line and steal my spot, and that's why you always get the rooms first. And I was like,
love
I
that.
didn't even have a room.
Love that. I've been with you guys on the road a million times. I've literally never seen you do that, Mikey.
It happened one time before, and I gave him my room. I was like, here, just take my card. You can have my room, and I'll check in
That's
later.
just a crazy accusation.
And I told him that. I was like, Frank, if I got a room,
Well,
just change it.
First off, let me explain something. I am not comfortable wearing a tux.
Yes. I know. Yeah. Fair. Understandable, Frank.
Secondly, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Did this lady know this, though? This lady didn't know that you are not.
5 o'clock in the morning, Mikey.
Frank, I was there, too. I woke up at 5 a.m. with you.
You know how I hate waking up with the fucking roosters. Cock a goddamn motherfucking do.
What? Frank, my favorite part of this whole trip was you were complaining about everything to me like I wasn't doing the same exact thing you were doing.
Well, that's if Frank's drowning in a pool, he rather
pulled
than have
me
somebody
down.
pull him out, he wants to pull everybody poolside in and have them all come down, drown with
Here's
him.
my hand helping Frank, and he's yanking me in the fucking pool, dude. Come on. I can't drown alone. I can't do this.
So
Go ahead.
I had to take a shower, clean up, and get a tux on. By the way, I actually put on socks. I put on these Met socks, which were a little too tight for my feet. And I was showing those socks off. That's how I got my pant leg rolled up, by the way.
Socks aren't supposed to be loose, but go on.
I hate tight socks. They feel like they're imprisoning my feet. That's why I walk around free without a sock.
With blisters.
It's a beautiful life.
I think you have the craziest proportion, Frank, of really high pain tolerance. Like you walked around with a hole in the back of your heel through half of the winter before even trying a pair of socks. But then at the same time, if I don't know, something doesn't upload in 30 seconds, you will motherfuck the entire universe and literally scare people around you. It's crazy, disproportion.
I know that you are getting rid of these shoes that you've been wearing because you don't like them. I think
don't, Mikey. No.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. The next thing you should do for Barstool After Dark is the punishment, not you. A punishment should be somebody has to take a shoey out of Frank's.
I would also like if they did that and then they had to give him a full petty.
Oh my God! No, hell no. The Arkansas prisoners that work for free shouldn't be having to do that. No.
What do you do with a man that has such dry skin on the back of his heel? There's a hole.
Yeah, literally, you would do the shoe and you would just there'd be a hole dripping the beer out. You'll be good.
Frank would keep his fucking portable charger in his heel.
Frank with that Sith laugh, dude. Jesus, Frank.
Why are you taking rips of fucking Tony Montana at goddamn 9:44 in the goddamn motherfucking morning, motherfucker? We're trying to get under 3 motherfucking 100. Where I'm walking 5 miles a day with you, Frank, and you're taking salt at 9 a.m. and saying, fuck you, Jenks, fuck you, Jenks, fuck you, Jenks.
I just wanted a little shot of salt.
Love that, Frank. That's amazing. So yeah, anyways, Frank, we're going to check in. It's 11 o'clock, and Frank goes, hi, do you guys have a room ready for me? I know I'm 5 hours early, but is it ready? And she goes, no, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait. And Frank goes, what do you mean? I gotta check in my tux right now. I gotta put my tux on. I can't. She's like, well, there's a bathroom over there. There's a bathroom lobby you could change. No, I'm not.
Yeah, public bathroom.
He's like, and then I gotta change in the stall, like
So,
a peasant.
you were with him?
Yeah, I was trying to calm him down.
Frank was texting me as if he was alone, saying all this was going down, and then he was like, I have to change in a public's bathroom. Like he was just he was flipping. But I figured he was alone.
No, then I was like, Frank, come on, let's go on a walk. Let's wait for it to check in. Let's cool off a little bit. So we go on a walk. I was like, fuck, what can we do? So I called Nick. Shout out Nicky Clicky. I called Nick, and I was like, hey, could we go to your hotel? Could we change in your hotel? He's like, yeah, meet me in the lobby. So we go and meet him in the lobby. He calls me. He's like, hey, I'm in the lobby. Where are you? I was like, I'm in the lobby. He goes, are you? I was like, what hotel are you staying at? And he told me what hotel you were staying at. And I go, oh, fuck. He goes, you are so fucked. You are so fucked. And I was like, I am so fucked. And then he's like, and then I let him go. And yeah, I didn't make Frank. Frank, I said he should apologize to the lady for flipping out.
Did he?
So right before we left to go to the other hotel to change, Frank went up to the lady and said, hey, I didn't mean to flip out. He didn't say, I don't know if he said sorry, but let's say he said sorry. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to flip out. She goes, okay, no problem. We walk to our car, drive 2 minutes. Guess what? Frank gets a text. Your hotel is ready to check in. All of this complaining for about an hour just to get checked in an hour later. And everything worked out. Frank got to shower. Frank got to change. Frank got in his tux. We got to the gala on time.
Yeah, this is just a normal day for us. Yeah.
This is a normal.
I mean, I don't wear tuxes. I don't wear things like that. And I need to get cleaned up. I need to be comfortable changing into that tux. And it took a while for me to do it.
But what I'm saying is that lady had no idea what your scenario was, Frank. And we were there 5 hours early. So it was very nice.
Like Frank gave her kind of a Logan Roy apology where you don't actually say, I'm sorry. You just use a bunch of words in a certain tone that kind of feel like an apology.
I didn't mean to scare the living shit out of you. I'm sorry. She's like, oh, yeah, it's no problem. That was crazy, Frank. Insane. But yeah, other than that, Tampa was really good. Great weather. We got there when it was like 75, 80 degrees max. So it was a great time.
How about Phoenix being 70 degrees?
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, it was very nice. I was very excited getting there. I love Scottsdale. It's the best place in the world. Best place in the world. I don't care what anybody says.
So, Mikey, before we hit Ask the Tank, do you want to open on the Knicks? Because you're the one guy that was optimistic going into the series when everybody was calling for a sweep.
Sure. So, everybody.
By the way, I got like 10 minutes. I got to get that train.
Yes, you do. Yes, indeed. Yeah, everybody was saying, like, after watching the Pistons game, I understand, but you have to look at the matchups. The matchup was totally. You have Duran in down low in the paint. You have Cat, who doesn't really go down low. So the whole scheme and the everything for the Pistons is totally different than the Celtics. For the Celtics, who's guarding down low? How many rebounds did Cat have? Cat went like dummy mode in his rebounds. He was
more aggressive. He was definitely more aggressive.
And he can be more aggressive with a non-aggressive team like the Celtics versus the Pistons, where they are the most aggressive team in the NBA right now. Right now, the Pistons are the most aggressive team in the NBA.
So we'll keep the Knicks short, just so we do Ask the Tank, because that's I think the fans' favorite part, and they don't want to hear our dumbasses talking. They want to hear Frank.
Yeah, start dropping
Mikey, shout out to you. I think a lot of times you go against the grain, not to like be different, but when you genuinely believe it, and this is a really good one. Yeah. What part of me thinks Tibbs purposefully, like a Week 17 NFL coach, ran nothing in the Pistons series, so he saved everything for the Celtics series, so they couldn't really prepare properly. And just from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank Jalen Brunson for letting a lifelong Knicks fan experience what it's like to have an apex predator on your fucking team at the end of playoff games. It is electric.
It's also nice that he took less money to be on a team like this.
It's the leader, man. He's the leader. And also shout out Patrick Ewing for walking them out last night. That's when he won. That's when the team won. Ewing looked good too. He looked like he'd fucking suit up and get 15 and 20.
Shout out Patrick Ewing. Yeah, it was great. And the thing about the Knicks is it doesn't matter what the lead is. You could be down 20. If you think Tibbs is not going to try until the final 2 minutes, like these fucking players, like these coaches, like Steve Kerr, you're down fucking 30 and you don't play your starters the rest of the game because you're a fucking loser and you give up on your team. When you're down 13 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter and you still don't play your starters because you gave up because you're a fucking loser, even though he's got 4 rings and like 5 rings as a player. Loser. Loser. Loser.
Right. Ask the Tank.
Ask the Tank. Everybody, drop your questions. I actually love this one. Frank, why does Google AI think you're dead?
Whoa.
I don't get that one.
Frank, that was also like they said it was right around when I showed up. It was like the spring of 2023. You died. So it might have been like with famous people. Like, did you get cloned and switched out?
Not that I know of.
I think it was like the Mets lost that day and Frank went on a fucking actually no, it was May 13th. They won 3-2 against the Nationals, but he was freaking out so much. They said that he had heart implications and died. Frank, I love you to death, man. All right, I love this question. If you had to listen to Free Fallin' every day for a year for the Mets to win a World Series, would you do it?
You see, that's the thing. They cannot win. That song curses the Mets.
You can't undercut the premise of the question. It's a yes or no.
Yeah, what if you're doing this all wrong and every song that you hate and refuse to play is the reason? Like if you listen to Mr. Brightside, maybe
this is a set deal. You listen to it every day for a year, the Mets win.
Also, shout out the Mets for completely abandoning their "Oh my God."
He's not a Met anymore.
They got rid of the singer.
Oh my God,
that was actually that player was on their team last year. He's not.
That
He's
was
on the Padres
more
now.
annoying.
Scooby Doo.
That was more annoying than HOTTOGO. Oh my God!
No, it wasn't.
Tell us you don't get the Mets without telling us you don't get the Mets.
Oh my God! Read the Englishized lyrics of that song.
Might be also challenges still on the table on this podcast for you to read one page from Harry Potter.
Oh, I could do it. I'll do it next week. I'll read a page from Harry Potter. Which one do you want? Sorcerer's Stone?
Anything, but maybe an electric scene. It would be good if it was an electric scene and you really got into character for it.
All right, I'll do it. Fuck it. Harry. Yeah, I was at Harry. All right. Plans for the 400th Raw Dog, and we got 2 minutes, so let's speed through these.
You'll see next week. We shot it.
Yeah, we did.
We should really do an episode with Pam. What's her name? The woman that like does 1,000 dudes at once.
Oh, Bonnie Blue.
Yeah, that'd be electric.
No, it would not be electric. I would not want to do a walk with, or not me, but Frank.
Not a walk, a Raw Dog.
Frank, who would you like to see play in the Stanley Cup final? Not necessarily who do you think will be there, but who do you want?
Not the Rangers. Not the Kings.
You know, they've been tortured for a while. Maybe see the Maple Leafs against the Winnipeg Jets. Let's see an all-Canadian final.
Frank, how are we feeling about the Mets pitching?
I think the Mets have decent pitching. It just don't have good pitching. They have pitchers who are
the best ERA in the league.
They have pitchers who are middle of the rotation guys. A lot of these guys are like the same guy. They're cut from the same mold. They can go maybe 5 or 6 innings, but they could get in trouble if you go beyond that. And they need somebody who is more of a frontline pitcher, an ace. That's the one thing they're lacking. If they had that, I think they'd be more complete.
Joey, I'll take this question. Nobody wants to eat food from a chef that just openly sneezes all over it.
Well, I was alone. I don't know who eat it. So
throws All right, let's go on to the next step.
You added more salt by that sneeze. You know that, right? Like fucking 14 things of salt just came out of your nose.
I was only the only one who was gonna eat it. I didn't need to cover my nose.
He added 3 fucking cups of salt.
Why does no one want to eat my food? Achoo!
I watched. People should check out the new video with the.
Wait, Frank, I'm clipping it today, so hold on. Yes.
Oh, Frank, you asked Frank is like, he's my best friend, but also he DMs me Instagram reels like a crazy uncle. Like it could be anything.
We get
and you DM me about the Utah Mammoth yesterday. And I said, I like this. What do you think? You never respond to me though. And you only send me stuff on Instagram, then like get out of the chat. What's your thoughts on it?
I actually think it's a sharp look.
Did mammoths once roam Utah?
Yes.
What year? Negative what?
Thousands
BC.
Thousands of years ago.
Okay.
Frank,
I think mammoths were. Well, you know the mammoth. You watched the movie Ice Age?
Yes, I also knew what mammoths were before the movie Ice Age, but that is a great movie. Send me on my way. No, Frank actually accidentally moved into a deaf community. Therefore, he's been able to thrive doing this.
Frank, have your neighbors ever made a noise complaint from your post-game rant screaming?
I just answered it, Mikey. He lives in a deaf community.
He doesn't. They blast music too in that fucking thing. So that whole place is a party, and then you got Frank ranting. They probably can't even hear it.
Belleville, baby, Jersey.
Best hot dog place in Connecticut, Frank?
Oh, geez. I'm trying to think. It might be kind of like the Raleigh's. That was pretty good, if I could recall. I think that might be my favorite in Connecticut.
Where does Frank want to retire? Chicago with Mikey? No. I think Frank wants to go to Florida. Right, Frank?
Probably.
And then Jenks is going to retire in Italy or Costa Rica, and I will be retiring in Scottsdale. So
hopefully by the time I retire, the Dolphins are Chris Greer is fired, and the Dolphins are 1 year away from turning it around.
I don't think you're going to retire. I think you're just going to move to Florida and still do this. But we're going to be in a different state doing this podcast till we die.
I don't know why it took me more than a second to realize it was moving to Florida that made him think of the Dolphins, which then triggered him to Chris Greer. For a second, I was just like, "Oh, he's being a lunatic." But
Chris Greer wants to get rid of, wants to melt down the Super Bowl trophies. He says, he wants to get rid of the past. He wants to even change the Dolphins' name.
Okay. What do you think of McFeeble? Triple yesterday.
He seems like a vibe killer.
You seem like a vibe killer. This guy hit a triple yesterday, and you're complaining the whole game, and then you have the audacity to call him a vibe killer.
What is with McNeil's negativity?
Something about his attitude, guys. I feel like he's negative in the dugout. Mikey, can you imagine having someone on your team that's negative all the time? I mean, wouldn't that really bring down?
God, I couldn't imagine a negative person on my team. That would be crazy.
I wouldn't be able to do that job. That's not me. That's not how I operate.
All right, last question from our day one since A1, Joey Shea. Current World Series prediction, Frank?
It's really too early to talk about World Series.
Okay.
I mean, the Dodgers are the team to beat in the National League. And right now, the Tigers look pretty good in the American League. So,
all right, love it. I think that's all we have because I know Frank has to catch the train to go do another podcast. Check out Frank, who will be doing the draft.
Hopefully, the train's not delayed. Let me see what the.
Let's watch this live. This is Frank checking New Jersey Transit, and he's going to be surprised when there's inevitably a problem.
Worst case, Frank, why don't you just record it at home?
Well, I had to get into work today, don't I?
Do you? Do you have anything big going on?
Well, I also have a dozen thing going on today too, and then I got to do a walk in between.
Which is also, what do you think?
He wants to walk with me in the sun in the city. That's probably the main reason. I mean, that's the only reason you're coming in today, really.
Yeah.
Well, it's a content day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank's old school. He believes in coming into the office. If I was in the office, he'd chop my head off.
I agree. It's just if it's going to save you not being late for a podcast.
Frank, stop with the fucking salt, motherfucker.
I'm
being harder on you this month. We got to break 300. You got to make some conscientious efforts. Pounding those. Last night, Mikey, I see him in the kitchen. You'd think he broke into a drug dealer's house and found the safe. He's in the fucking drawer with the salt. Just took like 15 of them, put them on the table. I go, what the fuck are you doing, Flem? And he goes, pouch is empty. And he just starts repacking his fucking pouch of cocaine. I'm going to start knocking him out of your hand. This is going to start getting physical, buddy.
Love that. HR won't care.
HR's got my back. HR's got my back. I can do a lot for Frank.
But
compared to what he's done.
I might have to be working from home for a while in about 8 days.
Yeah, because of the strike. Yeah, they
Cars.
told you got to stay home.
Cars
Walk
exist,
600
Frank.
coming up. Walk 600 might be a Jersey walk, Jenks.
I love that it makes you happy that I'm going to spend money out of my pocket to go all the way to Jersey and spend the day. I love you. God bless. And 600 is a huge accomplishment. I'll go there happily. So you can't even be happy at my misery, you fuck.
But, I mean, don't blame me. Blame the New Jersey Transit. And the government says that it's a privilege to work for New Jersey Transit and a privilege to work for the state. You should make sacrifices. He said this at a black tie gala with Yo-Yo Ma playing the cello and Sonny Ho of the View.
You just went to a black tie gala, dude. That's a tough one to blame him on.
You just said we need to end this fucking podcast so you can make the train, and you're going on a rant about how you're not going to make the train.
You just went to what you're describing, buddy.
The governor and his wife were at the Met Gala in suits that cost $8 million.
Like, he's not making that train. Let Eddie know maybe next time for whatever show.
Yeah, seriously, right now, what are the train times that you can make it?
Yeah, check the train times.
All right, 10:27. All right, let's get out of here. I'll see you guys next week. Frank, make that podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you soon, Frank. Hustle, buddy. Hustle.